What is going on, everybody? So today I'm going to be doing a list video, and I'm very excited about this one because, as you all know, it is the summertime. And every time the summertime comes around now in my adult life, I always go back to thinking about when I was a kid and how excited I was for the summer because, school was over and the weather got a lot better. And I'm an Ohio guy, so I live in a state that has very wild shifts in weather. We never really know what's going to happen from week to week. But in the summertime, we do get some really beautiful weather, and there's a lot to be excited about in the summer. I wore my Cleveland Guardians jersey, love some baseball. There's so many things about the summertime that I absolutely love, and one of my favorite things to do in the summer is watch movies that take place during the summertime or around summer vacation to just kind of put me in that headspace. There's just kind of this joyful, exciting thing about summertime. And so I decided I wanted to make a couple of videos, and today is going to be the first installment in a 2 video installment where I'm going to be talking about movies that take place during the summertime or that are heavily focused in on the summer. Either it's explicitly said or just through the cinematography and through the atmosphere really bring out those summer vibes. And I'm going to do another video later talking about summer horror films because I really love those as well. But I thought I would use this one to talk more about films that just encapsulate that summer feeling, that take place during the summertime, and that are really great to watch this time of year. So first up is going to be a film that I find to be incredibly underrated, and that is the movie The Way, Way Back. I saw this film 3 times in the theater when it was released, and it is such an incredible coming-of-age movie. It's about a young kid who moves into a new town where he does not really know anyone, and it's during the summertime, and he gets there and he finds out about this water park that's in the town, and he ends up getting a job there. And the entirety of the film is him not really feeling like he fits in at home with his family, him kind of clashing heads with his family, but really feeling this sense of community and love and family in this group that he meets at this water park. And I just think that movies like this, they embody that feeling of when you were a teenager, when you were trying to discover and find yourself. And there's so many little things added into this movie that I think pretty much anyone can relate to. It's really well shot. It has great music in the movie. There's so many fantastic choices. And throughout the years when I've gone back and revisited this film, I've really enjoyed it a lot. And I think not a lot of people discuss this movie. Not a lot of people pay enough attention to it when it comes to like summertime or coming of age films. And if you haven't watched this before, I'd highly recommend checking it out because it's really fantastic. Up next is going to be a Wes Anderson film, and that is Moonrise Kingdom. This is like the quintessential summer movie for me. I love everything about this. You obviously have a kid at his scouts camp in the 1960s. He forms a relationship with this girl, and the two of them go on adventures together during the summer. It's obviously shot in Wes Anderson's signature style. This honestly has some of my favorite comedy in any of Wes's movies because it can get really dark in moments. He incorporates some violence in this film that I didn't really expect. And it's such a brilliant film, just sort of encapsulating that feeling of young love and like finding someone when you're at a young age who you can really relate to and who you want to be around. And the way that he paints it, it's so like exciting and new and fun. And I think he does a really great job at bringing to life those feelings of when you experience young love when you are a kid. And all the performances in this are brilliant. There's a lot of like existential questions posed, especially through like Bill Murray's character in this film. And it's just one that when I go back and revisit it, I always grow to love it even more. Up next is Sean Baker's The Florida Project. This isn't necessarily a happy summertime movie by any means, but it does have some joyous moments. I've spoken on this movie multiple times on my channel, and I think that this film is brilliant. It focuses on a young girl who lives with her mother at a hotel outside of Disney that's like a lower income hotel where people essentially live there, and the only rule is that they have to move rooms every 30 days so that it's not like that they're living on the property and that they can hide that they're living there. And it's all through the lens of this young girl, and she is very joyous and happy, and she has all of her friends, but we as an audience are seeing the reality of the situation that she's living in. Her mother tries to be a good mom, but she also makes a ton of horrible decisions that kind of fall back on her child. And it's just such a beautifully human and empathetic film, because what I love about Sean Baker as a director is he always paints these portraits of these areas that have a lot of stereotypes surrounding them, and that there's a lot of pre-established ideas that people have about the people who live in these areas, but he's never mean about it. He's just painting it as a reality, and he's treating them all as people. And that's what I love so much about his movies, is just how beautifully empathetic they are. The third act of this film makes me cry every time I watch it. It's just such a beautiful and sad reality. And Sean Baker is a brilliant director. I can't wait for his new film Anora that was announced this year. But this is a great summertime movie that I always watch around this time of year. Up next, if I had to say there's a quintessential summertime movie, it's this, and that's Dirty Dancing. I think if you've never seen Dirty Dancing before, you are 100% missing out. This is the film that just sort of embodies everything that makes a summertime movie. Obviously, you have this blossoming romance from two people from very different worlds. You have one of the most incredible soundtracks ever put to film. The variety of music in this is absolutely incredible. I play this soundtrack on repeat year round constantly because it's just so great. The performances are all spectacular in the movie, and what I love about it is you have that young love element, but you also have a lot of realistic life circumstances put into here, including a movie in this time period talking about abortion and discussing it very openly. And I really love that about the movie. It's able to incorporate real topics amidst just being a very fun and beautiful romance that I just grow to appreciate more every time I watch it. Honestly, I got to see it. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before, but I saw it where like a live band performed all the songs while the movie played, and it was just a really cool experience. And it's a movie that like is so charming and fun. And if you've never seen it before, I'd highly recommend watching it because it's great. Up next, one of my favorite movies of all time is Lilo and Stitch. And yes, this takes place in Hawaii, so you can argue that it's not specifically summertime, but it embodies that feeling of summer. There's this joyous, lively nature to the movie that is impossible not to just be immersed in from the first frame. This is the era of Disney where I feel like they did such a great job balancing like the joyous, exciting moments for kids with like real heavy-hitting drama. And I think that it's balanced perfectly. And there's so many things that you can pull, not only this character who is raising her sibling because her parents are no longer in the picture and trying to do what's best to stop child services from taking her sister away. And there's this real dramatic thing that adults watching the movie can very much relate to. But also Stitch's character being someone who feels like his life has already been determined for him, and that all the decisions of who he is and how he should act have been made, but he doesn't want to be that way. And so there's that internal conflict for his character. And I think for a Disney movie, there's an intense amount of growth for these characters. It has one of my favorite Disney soundtracks. I love all the original music. I love the incorporation of popular music throughout the film. And it's just one that leaves a big smile on my face. I have a huge Stitch tattoo on my leg because I love this movie so much and I think about it all the time. And it's a movie that just really gets me excited for summer every time I watch it. Doing another animated film, I want to talk about the Miyazaki movie My Neighbor Totoro. This is another movie that I feel like just so perfectly embodies that summertime feeling. These kids going on these magical adventures, meeting these mystical characters. And it's a very slice of life, simplistic movie that also says a lot about family dynamics and the love that you have for your family. And Miyazaki obviously was very personal with this one and talking about how much he loves his mother in the period of time where his mother was sick, and that's paralleled to what's going on in this movie. And it's probably his most simplistic film. There's not a lot of high stakes in this movie. It's not like there's like a ton of dramatic twists and turns. It's very simple. The most like elevated drama you get in about the last 10 or 15 minutes. But there's something so incredibly beautiful about this world and being sucked into this environment that just feels like a slice of summertime. And I love this movie so, so much. And I'm always thinking about it. And I don't want to keep you forever, so I'll do one more today. And I'm going to talk about Charlotte Wells' film After Sun, another devastating summer movie that also does have have its joyous moments. This is one of my favorite films of the decade and probably gonna end up being one of my favorite films of all time. It's a movie about an estranged father and his daughter going on a summer vacation together, where the daughter doesn't realize it's probably going to be one of the last times that she ever sees her father. And so much of the movie is just about the little interactions and conversations that the two of them have together, and how they're both in very different points in their lives, and how we get little bits of insight into the father's character as to how he's not really ready to be a dad, and he's not really ready to be a responsible parent, and he also has a ton of other things going on in his life, and he's trying to be there, but he doesn't really know how. And then this kid who is like realizing that her parent is flawed, but wants to try to see the best in their parent, and wants to try to keep their relationship alive. And there's beautiful, joyous moments between these characters, and there's also some really devastating, sad moments. And for someone like me who has spoken multiple times that I have a very complicated relationship with my parents, it's a movie that really sticks with me, and it's a movie I think about nonstop. The third act sequence in this is one of the most brilliant I've ever seen in a movie. It constantly makes me cry, and it's just one of the greatest films ever made. I'd highly recommend checking out if you've never seen it before. It's incredible, and I hope Charlotte Wells makes a ton of other movies in her career. So what are some of your favorite summer movies? Let me know in the comments, and let me know if you'd like me to make a part 2. The summer is very long. I have a lot of summertime movies that I really enjoy, and I'd love to make another one of these lists. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material, and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.